Hi renovators, thanks for tuning in. So this week I wanted to look at something which is quite often overlooked, but we think is a really important part of having a successful property business and really being able to build it up without any issues. And that is, what experts should you have in your corner and on your team in order to allow you to focus on the important things while they give you the best advice? It's really important because if you get bad advice in a lot of areas, legal, financial, insurances and other areas, not only can that stop you growing, but it can potentially put you in jail. So the first expert is obviously the accountant. Now, I'm not just talking about a tax accountant. I'm talking about a really good accountant that can sit in your corner and that can give you great advice. And with the accountant, as with the other guys on the team, you might end up paying a little extra. You will end up paying a little extra for a really good, a good person, but it will be worth it. I'm telling you, in the end, it will be worth it. So your accountant obviously is gonna do your taxes for you, but they're also gonna give you direction on how to reduce your tax, how to structure your company. Do you want a trust or a trust with a corporate trustee? Do you want a company? There's so many different ways to do it. Having a good accountant is going to mean that you're going to do it as efficiently as possible while still staying legal. The next one is having a good solicitor. Now, obviously in property you need a conveyancer to enact the transaction. But there's a difference between a conveyancer that you pay $600 to enact a contract and a solicitor that you can actually get advice from. Our solicitor does all of our contracts, but I also have the ability to call him up and get advice from him. He's drafted contracts for joint ventures and other things, and he's a really great person to have when there's a legal issue that I'm not sure about. So next one is the mortgage broker. A lot of people don't use mortgage brokers, but in my eyes, they're worth their weight in gold. For us, we're a difficult borrower. We're not just your standard borrower. We've got income coming from overseas and all sorts of weird things. So our mortgage broker has been able to find us loans where most people wouldn't actually be able to get loans. They've been vital in us growing our business. But even if you're a really good borrower, as the banks would say, you're in a stable job in Australia with a big company or say a government job, you've been there for a long time and you've got a good income. Obviously the banks love that. But going to a good mortgage broker will probably allow you to get a better rate and get a much better deal than if you just went to your bank, which is what a lot of people do. And don't forget, if you use a broker, their fees normally come from the bank, so you won't even notice it on your front end. Maybe when you sell the property, you'll notice it, but you certainly won't have to pay for it up front. The final consultant or person that we would recommend you have on your team is a really good insurance expert. When you're doing properties, especially if you're doing it as a business, it's really important that you understand what your liabilities are and that you have good insurance to cover that. Because if you don't, the smallest little thing, like someone tripping over, an example, I heard a story of, there was a tree growing in a property and the roots from the tree went over the property boundary to the side, to the sidewalk. They raised the concrete and caused someone to trip over. That person actually sued the owner of the property because the tree was the cause. So things like that you don't really think about. If you don't have the insurance to cover it, you could end up in a massive hole over a really, really small thing. So look, that's it for this week. We wanted it to be really short and sweet, just to show you, those top advisors that you really, really need in your team. Thank you for tuning in. Please don't forget to check out our social medias. Obviously, @Hooper Homes Brisbane is on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. And we have something really, really exciting coming next week. So please stay tuned. It's something we've been working on for a while. We're super excited and we really think it can help a lot of people. So thanks again, and everyone have a great weekend.